There are one or two things in this show which you will have never seen in your life. Whatever you make of the story, it's very powerful in its own way. There's not loads of swearing, there's not any graphic sexual references or even sex itself, there's no nudity, but one or two things are a little bit disgusting.
You're listening to a podcast from Wood End Barn in Banchory. My name is Sam Tom, and on the line is Matthew Zajac. He's director and cast member of a play called Sweetness, coming to the Barn on Thursday the 17th of March. Now, this is a Dogstar production, Matthew. Let's kick off with the story first of all. What's it about?
Well, it's an adaptation of a novel. It was written in Sweden. It's set in northern Sweden. And Kevin MacNeil, who's written the adaptation, has set the story in northern Scotland. And it's about two brothers who are both nearing the end of their lives, and they're both dying of different diseases, one of cancer, the other of heart disease. They live on opposite sides of a field in the middle of nowhere in the far north, and they both hate each other. A woman is on a lecture tour of village halls in the north, lecturing on the lives of saints, and she ends up staying the night with Archie, the cancerous thin one, and she gets snowed in for an indeterminate length of time, and basically shuttles back and forth between the two houses and uncovers the story behind the mutual hatred between Archie and Murdo.
So it's by the Swedish writer Jonny Lindgren, I think his name
Jonny
is.
Lindgren, yeah.
To what extent has Kevin MacNeil, this Scottish writer, managed to keep the black humour? I mean, I can understand that maybe he's managed to keep the blackness, but how has he managed to get that humour in there?
Well, he's written a very faithful adaptation, so the story is intact. You know, the essential story is intact, and Kevin simply sort of transposed the whole situation in Scotland through language primarily. Just turns a phrase, a sort of slightly different idiom at times from Jonny Lindgren's. Yes. Although he uses a lot of Jonny Lindgren's own dialogue, but I think Kevin's added some more jokes, basically. And I mean, you know, I don't want to kind of underrate what Kevin's done, because I think he's done an excellent adaptation, and he's a marvellous writer in his own right.
You know, having read the Puff and having listened to what you said, it's the kind of story that I would like. But what does that say about me, that I like that idea of people, you know, two warring parties, and especially a female coming between two men and something happening? What does that say about someone who enjoys that?
Well, I don't know what it says about you exactly, because I think, you know, it's interesting, because the themes in the story, I think, are universal, you know, and it's the universality of, I think, which probably appeals to you. You know, it's a tragi-comedy. I know it's billed in our posters as a comedy, and I do hold my hand up and apologise for that, because really it's a tragi-comedy. You know, it's funny, but it's also very sad and I think quite moving. Yeah. And you know, I mean, the great sort of classical theory behind tragedy is that it has a kind of cathartic effect. You watch other people's folly in order to kind of purge yourself of your own anxieties about going down that path. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why stories like this have a kind of a power, you know, which is not really going to die with time, you know. Yes. And I think that's why you're attracted to it.
And of course, you're the director, but you're also an actor, is that right? And you play a character called Archie, so you are one of the brothers.
I am. I'm the cancerous, skinny one, and Murdo is the heart disease-ridden fat one who's addicted to eating sweet things, which is hence the title. Sweetness is the very antidote to life's bitterness. I think that's one of Murdo's lines in it. And so that's a metaphor as well.
Okay, so you've been listening to Matthew Zajac of theatre company Dogstar about the play Sweetness. You can catch it at Wood End Barn this Thursday, the 17th of March 2011 at 7:30 p.m.